Today is National Unfriend Day on Facebook. National. It's hard to believe that only about 6 years ago, Facebook was relatively unknown. And today, it's a half a billion people strong. It is starting to define culture. And it's a game changer in the world of relationships and social media. I'm John Spade. This is the egg for November what is today? The 18th, 2010. And it's been a while. I'm not even sure how long it's been since I've done my last egg, but it's a little bit inspiration. Not feeling a lot. Of course, the weather has dramatically changed here in Calgary in the last week, and it seems like we're getting about a foot of snow every single day now. Not a lot of fun. I was just out shoveling already. Got my workout for the morning. Actually, it's not a bad way to start the day to get out and shovel. You're kind of forced to do it and make the best. So, anyways, today there's a few things I'm thinking about, and drawing on some inspiration. And one of them, it never ceases to amaze me at this juncture, the one that we're at, where there's so many people now that literally take the internet and the ability to text on the fly and use their smartphones and every other device that's out there right now so that we can communicate with friends and business associates. Basically, life is sort of centered around it. And they're even doing studies now to show that it's changed the labor force, where people are more productive than they've ever been because they have the ability to take their work with them, and they can do it in their car, they can do it in the office, they can do it at home. And because we're all connected now, there's a real serious threat that's come from this, and I think a lot of people probably don't realize just how grave it is. And I'm curious to know what would happen if all of a sudden we lost the ability overnight to be able to have this instant communication. There are some of us that remember a time before that, so we would adjust, but then I think about all the people that have never known anything but. Where would that put them? Would they send them over the brink? Would they be able to learn a new skill where they'd actually have to, drive down to talk to somebody at a certain business, or go to a friend's house if they wanted to have a conversation? And then, of course, it's the ability to actually have a conversation, communicate with something other than your thumbs. They've realized, because honestly, computer technology, when you really think about it in the grand scope of the evolution of mankind and the fact that we've been here for thousands of years and longer, and in the last 30 years, we have something that has so dramatically changed the way we live that if it was taken away, it would really turn the world upside down, because everything's connected now. It's a giant grid globally. And they've just discovered that there is a virus out there now. For whatever reason, somebody's developed it. They've created this super virus that basically it's so complex that it can be inside your system and it can tell you that everything's fine when in fact it actually isn't. And the interesting thing about this virus, I want to make sure I get the name right, it's called Stuxnet. They say it's a game changer, and basically the reason it's such a game changer is it targets major infrastructures, specifically power plants, water treatment plants, nuclear power plants. What the big target is it to bring down, because when you think about a virus that specifically and insidiously goes against infrastructure like this, that could potentially do a lot of damage and kill a lot of people, what's the big plan, and who would finance such a plan? Because they say to create a superbug like this that's that malicious and that nobody's prepared for. And in the United States, they're going, geez, maybe we should pass some kind of law or a new bill that can prevent this from happening. Well, you can't prevent this from happening because you have factions worldwide who have the money, who have the resources, who probably would like to see some kind of harm come to, countries like the Americas, like China perhaps, maybe North Korea, South Korea. And that's the way the world is. And there's a very strong reality that this is something that could come about. And I guess it just makes you think how we are so connected that if you disconnect one part of that grid, that the rest comes with it. And potentially, it has the ability to shut down everything. And I'm not just talking about your ability to text to your friend or to pick up the phone and make that phone call. Think about being able to shut down banks, being able to shut down trading, commerce of all kinds, the communication necessary to make deliveries for produce to go from one point to the next. Just everything that we rely on, that we take for granted, the ability to go into a grocery store and buy whatever we want, the ability to basically purchase and consume, all these things. Imagine tomorrow that they're gone and you don't have that ability anymore. It's a reality. Governments are just starting to kind of deal with the reality, going, wow, do we have any stopgaps in place? We're kind of all connected now. What if somebody decided to take it down? And, they talk about warfare and the use of chemical weapons, the use of bombs, but the real threat now, and it's like they're just waking up to this reality. A terrorist that really wanted to have massive impact and wanted to do massive damage to the world, that would probably be the place to start. And there's computer labs all over the world now with, people who are very adept at using computers who can build these superbugs. Anyways, it's something to think about. Of course, today is National Unfriend Day on Facebook. And to be honest with you, I generally add everybody that adds me. I got into it's the Twitter way. Somebody follows you, you follow them back. It's just, it's like a polite thing to do. I don't have anything to lose by adding somebody as a friend. And I know there are some people, my wife included, who are going kind of the other way. It's like, I don't need that many friends on Facebook. And how do I keep up with all it? I want to just have my little network. And for me, I'm thinking more along the lines of, what? Yeah, I want to reach out, sort of touch everyone. And are there people on my Facebook network that aren't really going to further my life or complete it? Who is it for me to say? What? We have a short time on this earth, so I'm just sort of out there and, one day at a time. And if you want to be my friend and add me, great. I have no problems with that, as long as you don't abuse me, and I promise not to do the same. Anyways, that's my egg for today. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye-bye.